Now, these are the 5 or 4 major topics that you have to relate mutations to. So mutation, in the exam, they can ask you mutation happening to a protein, mutation happening to an enzyme, mutation causing cancer, and rarely some mutation can result in natural selection. So what do you write? What are the key things to write in your exam to get those marks? Now, if they mention about proteins, could be any proteins, you have to start off with obviously mutation, so a change in the sequence of base. Now, a lot of students, what they do, they straight away go to the conclusion. So therefore, you have a change in the tertiary structure of protein. That is correct, but you lose a lot of marks. So look, this is the order you have to go into. So a change in the sequence of base, which will cause a change in the codon, and that will result in a change in the sequence of amino acid in your primary structure of the protein. And then, because your primary structure sequence is different, then this will change the tertiary structure of the protein and making that protein non-functional. Now, if they mention enzymes are proteins, so if they mention enzymes, you have to add few extra things. So this is enzymes. So the first part remains the same. So a change in the sequence of base, changing codon, changing primary structure sequence of amino acid, changing the tertiary structure of protein. Everything else stays same, but you're adding extra stuff. So we know that the main important part which makes the enzyme functional and non-functional is the active site. So a change in the structure of the active site has to be mentioned. And then you have to explain what does that mean as an outcome. The outcome is the active site is no longer complementary to the substrate. So therefore, you cannot form enzyme substrate complex, and that will slow or stop the reaction. Cancer can be also a topic that they can link with mutations. So mutation can occur in tumor suppressor genes, and so you have to mention this is the sequence. A change in the DNA sequence will change the sequence of amino acid in your primary structure, which will change the tertiary structure of that tumor suppressor protein. So which will cause this protein to be non-functional, and then last word, linked to cancer, this results in uncontrolled cell division. If they mention proto-oncogene, there's slight difference in how to explain it. So you have a change in the sequence of sequence of DNA, which will cause, so this mutation, this DNA change sequence will cause the proto-oncogene to be turned on when it's supposed to be turned off. And this is oncogene. When it becomes turned on permanently, it's oncogene, and this results in uncontrolled cell division. So the last thing you can come with is going to be evolution or natural selection. So you can have mutation, so change in the DNA base sequence. Now this is going to be like 4 to 5 mark question, and this is the order you have to mention. So with any evolution or natural selection from mutation. So you have a change in sequence of the DNA, like a mutation. This produces a different allele. Keyword, you can't mention different gene, you have to mention different allele. And then the allele, whatever the question is, you have to mention the advantage this allele provides. Like, why is it an advantage is allele? So mention the advantage, and then link it with, so therefore this organism or cell is more likely to survive and reproduce and pass this allele to the next offsprings. And then last point, over many generations, the allele frequency within that population will increase. So that's the stepwise you need to take.